Hi, peeps. Today is Friday, May 15th. We are on our last lesson of week 7. So today, our agenda, we're going to go over our what, why, and how. You have your very last I ready. Congratulations, 8th graders, almost freshmen. And we're going to talk about banned books. So, I ready for the very last time, people. Why are books banned? So you guys have talked with Miss Vince, I know, multiple times in your middle school career, which is almost over, by the way. And you've talked about banned books, right? I know in my classes, we went to the library and she showed us some banned books. We read some pieces from banned books, right? And now we're going to sort of dive in a little bit further into why are YA books specifically, right, since we're talking about young adult literature, why are YA books banned? And actually, a study that was conducted by the CCBC, which is I can't remember what it stands for off the top of my head right now, but it is an organization through the University of Wisconsin-Madison. They did a study and they found that the number one reason, right, so this graphic just happened to work, the number one reason why books are banned is because they're sexually explicit. Okay, so that means that they either talk about kissing, touching, inappropriate contact between two people, sexual relations, sexual violence, sexual thoughts, masturbation, and teen pregnancy. So those are all things that kind of fall under that umbrella category. And a lot of books, surprisingly, are actually banned for this reason. And so that is our number one. Our number two is language, which I'm sure is not surprising to a lot of you guys, right? So when we talk about YA literature, and we talked about sort of how YA is that bridge from children's literature to adult literature yesterday, language is one of the things that you guys, as much as you tell your parents, that you're a sweet little angel, right? You have your halo over your head. Language is really something that becomes more developed and more present in young adults, right? So this is the first time where you see more of you. I'm not saying all of you do this, but you see more of you on average using inappropriate language, or, dropping an F-bomb, or dropping a, whatever, or maybe talking a little bit inappropriately, or talking about sex, or talking about drugs, or talking about alcohol, or talking about other illegal activities, right? All of that sort of falls into that umbrella of language, which is why books are banned. Another reason, right? The third reason is unsuited for the age group, right? So basically what they did is they surveyed people who wanted books banned, or had books banned, or were okay with books being banned. And these are the reasons why they said they wanted books specifically to be banned. Unsuited for age group would be something that would also encompass language and things that are sexually explicit, right? So being unsuited for the age group would basically be being inappropriate for the age group. So let's say, this is a stack of Post-it notes, right? But let's say it's a book, and a parent wants it to be banned because they feel like it is way too inappropriate for 8th grade. It talks about sex, drugs, and alcohol and parties. And parents think that that's just content that's a little bit too mature for their 8th graders, right? That's what we're talking about when we're talking about unsuited for the age group. Okay, so before a book becomes banned, it's challenged, right? And Miss Vince has talked to you guys quite a bit about that in the library. So we're going to talk about just a couple of books that have been challenged or been banned, right? And one of the books I'm going to show you is this book. It's called Annie on My Mind. This book actually came out a super long time ago. It was republished, so the copy I have, in 2007, but it originally came out in 1982. This book is about two girls who fall in love with each other, and they go to a private school. I believe it's a private Catholic school where homosexual relationships are just a huge, massive no-no. Their parents won't support it. Their community won't support it. And it's them sort of trying to navigate that situation that they find themselves in. And that book, when books first started to become banned, was one of the first books actually for LGBTQ content that was challenged and was banned in many libraries across the country. Speak, which I think a lot of you guys have probably seen the film that goes along with this book. This book was very popular when I was in middle school. It is by Laurie Halse Anderson, the same person who wrote Chains, which many of you which many of you read. This book was originally published in 2000, I believe. So this came out when I was in first grade. And Speak is the story of a girl who has been raped, right? She went to a party and she called the police, right? Because she had been raped. And no one wants to talk to her, right? Everyone from her school hates her. They feel like, you know, she busted up this party. People got in trouble because the cops showed up, all that kind of stuff. And she sort of folds into herself and becomes very alone. And what ends up happening, right, is that she admits to everybody that she actually was raped at this party. And that's why she called the police, right? So here, you know, we have this one being banned for sexually explicit content, not being appropriate for the age group, not being appropriate maybe for the time so much in the 80s. This book being banned and continued to be challenged, right, for being sexually explicit. Then we have The Perks of Being a Wallflower. So this is, a lot of you guys saw this in my room. This is the film version cover of it, right? Some of you have probably seen this movie. So there's Emma Watson from Harry Potter, which is another banned book we're going to talk about. And this book was banned for kind of like all of the above. So this dude who wrote this book, I'm just trying to see when this is published. This book was became a movie in 2012, so that's when I was a senior in high school. This book came out in 1999, okay? So this book has been banned in all sorts of places for all of the above, right? Being unsuited for the age group. The main character in the book, I believe he's supposed to be a freshman, deals with issues with sex, with sexual violence. There's a lot of language. There's alcohol. There's drugs. Let's see. It says the uncharted territory of high school, the world of first dates, family dramas, and new friends, of sex, drugs, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show of those wild and poignant roller coaster days known as growing up. Another thing that's not in the film that's in the book is that there actually is an abortion scene, which is something that a lot of people feel is unsuited for specific age groups. And also, since it's a highly debated topic, a lot of people who disagree that it should be someone's choice believe that this book should be banned because it sort of shows someone choosing that route. Last one I'm going to show you is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. Miss Lindemuth loves this book, so she is going to talk more about this as we get more into banned books. This one is sort of another all of the above book. There is a lot of language, a lot of conversations about things that might be considered inappropriate for your age group. And so we're going to give you a little taste of that book when Miss Lindemuth gets to that day. Okay? So, thinking about these books, do you know these books, right? Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I'm currently listening to this book as an audiobook. I'm almost done. I have like 45 minutes left, so like it'll be done soon, probably by the time you're actually watching this video. But Harry Potter is banned all over the place, right? Because it talks about magic and witches and wizards, which is against a lot of people's religious beliefs. Captain Underpants, like, oh my God, that's just like X-rated content, right? He is naked. That book has been banned all over the place. And believe it or not, The Diary of Anne Frank, the play version of which you all have read, is banned all over the place. I don't know what you guys think about that. I'd be really curious if we were in class right now to have a conversation about why you think that might be banned. If you want to send me an email and you want to tell me why you think it would be banned, or like any of these 3 books, like what does it make sense to you that it's banned? I would be down to email you back. Shoot me an email. Anyways, so what are you going to do for the rest of today? Is that the last slide? I believe it is, yes. So today you have 2 attachments. You have what makes people ban books, and you're going to talk about some different things that have caused different books being banned. Some books in here are actually probably going to surprise you. And then the Great American Read has made a list of frequently challenged books. I think some of you guys are going to be really surprised. The givers on here. Some of you are going to be really surprised when you look through here and you see some authors like Stephanie Meyer and John Green, Toni Morrison, Mark Twain, right? There are some big name authors on this list. So you're going to go through and do this reading, and then you are going to complete the questions on banned books. Look, here's our conversation. Boop, boop. You are going to complete this form on banned books, and that is going to be your final assignment of week 7. So, bye guys. See you on Monday.